I just want to start by saying how grateful I am for every one of you who has been a part of the Holistic Hustle journey. It was an amazing journey. It really, really was. And I'm so grateful for the traction and the success and the feedback that I got throughout that journey. And over the past year or so, one truth has become crystal clear to me, and that is wisdom is better than gold. But I realized that my passion goes deeper than just money. Proverbs is a book in the Bible written by an individual by the name of King Solomon. The crazy part about King Solomon is he didn't pray to God for financial wealth. He prayed to God for wisdom. It's one thing to gain knowledge and understanding. It's another thing to go act on that. And you become wiser when you go act on that. I've come to see wisdom as a skill, or being skilled at living is to be wise. And the more skilled I get at decision making, understanding life's principles and applying them, the better my life gets. Hi, I'm Justin Buonomo, and this is Wisdom is Wealth. Wisdom is Wealth is designed to give you guys practical insights, modern strategies, and even timeless philosophies around gaining wisdom in your life. The wiser we get, the wealthier we will become. This podcast really is inspired by the book of Proverbs in the Bible, which was written by King Solomon, who prayed to God for wisdom, and as a byproduct became the wealthiest person to ever live. If he was still alive today in present day, he'd be worth $1.3 trillion with a T. Not because he prayed for wealth, but he prayed to God to give him wisdom. And as he grew wiser, as a byproduct, he grew wealthier, particularly financially, but not just stopping there, in every facet of his life. And in my own life, I have realized that the wealthier I become, it's truthfully just because I have become wiser in life. I'm gonna bring on guests that are incredibly successful, incredibly amazing human beings, and have an amazing financial wealth that they've grown for themselves. And they're gonna share wisdom on their life experience in totality in hopes that something becomes valuable for you to implement in your process, in your life, and in your journey, and see how wisdom truthfully is wealth. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode, but this is a little bit different than the past episodes. If you're finding us here, or if you're continuing your journey with us on this episode, you're gonna realize that the name of the podcast channel is now different. Historically, this whole journey, it has been the Holistic Hustle Podcast. And this episode is an announcement that we are rebranding the podcast and changing the name from the Holistic Hustle Podcast to Wisdom is Wealth. And so I want to take this time to explain this rebrand, the meaning behind it, right? And also just start off with thanking our loyal fan base from the Holistic Hustle Podcast. And so this transition is a very big deal to me for many reasons, and you'll see here on this episode why today. And so I'm very passionate about this transition. I just have this amazing feeling that though the Holistic Hustle Podcast was off to a great start and had some amazing success, Wisdom is Wealth is going to be an absolute game changer for everybody involved, including myself, because it's just so aligned with where I'm at now in life and where God is calling me to go. And so because I'm so passionate about this, and I feel like this is so important for so many different reasons, I do have some notes in front of me that I'm gonna follow to make sure that I hit all the important points, because I wanna do this rebrand and this transition justice for everybody involved. And so probably could have fooled you if you're just listening to the audio. You didn't need to know that I'm looking down at some notes here. But if you're watching the video, if you see me looking down from time to time, I just want to make sure I'm paying this transition, this rebrand, and this new evolution all of the best respects possible, particularly to y'all as the listeners, whether that's loyal listeners or new listeners. This rebrand is really important, and please stick with me through this episode. I think you're going to absolutely love to hear the reasons behind rebranding to Wisdom is Wealth. And so, first off, I just want to start by saying how grateful I am for every one of you who has been a part of the Holistic Hustle journey. It was an amazing journey. It really, really was. And I'm so grateful for the traction and the success and the feedback that I got throughout that journey. And so, but like many of us, I've grown and my priorities have shifted. And my relationship with God has most importantly deepened in ways that has just reshaped how I see the world and how I want to serve you. And over the past year or so, one truth has become crystal clear to me, and that is wisdom is better than gold. And I mean that literally and figuratively. As I've learned or leaned into growing in wisdom, I've realized something profound, that the wiser I get, the wealthier I become. It's pretty crazy, pretty straightforward, but so true. And not just financially, though that's certainly a huge part of it. Wisdom has enriched every area of my life, my relationships, my decision-making, my peace of mind, and my ability to show up for others, like my podcast audience. And so in Proverbs, which is a huge motivation for this rebrand, I've loved Proverbs over the years, but over the past year or so, I've been really diving into Proverbs. And so Proverbs is a book in the Bible written by an individual by the name of King Solomon. King Solomon is the richest person to ever live. If he was alive in present day, he would be worth $1.3 trillion, which would easily be the richest person on the planet, right? Let alone richer than the majority of some of the richest people out there right now. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all of them combined, right? And the crazy part about King Solomon is he didn't pray to God for financial wealth. He prayed to God for wisdom. He prayed to God to make him one of the wisest people to ever live. And as a byproduct or a direct result of becoming so wise, he grew a massive financial wealth. And so the book of Proverbs has 31 chapters, 30 or 31, I think it's 31. And in most months, there's 31 days in the months. And so for the past year or so, how I get my scripture in each morning is by going through whatever chapter of book of Proverbs is equivalent to the date. So that sounded super complicated. Simply put, if it's the 3rd of the month, I'll read Proverbs 3 or chapter 3. And these chapters are like maybe a page and a half. And so tomorrow morning I wake up, if it's the 4th, I'm going to read Proverbs 4. And so it really just started to become apparent to me that the wiser I became, just like King Solomon and just like Proverbs teaches, the wealthier I became financially. So, and in all areas of my life as well, but particularly financially. And that's a big priority of mine as a financial coach and with the company that I own and the things that I do. And so in Proverbs, it says, wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her. And let me tell you that this verse has been ringing so true in my life. I've come to see wisdom as a skill, or being skilled at living is to be wise. And the more skilled I get at decision making, understanding life's principles and applying them, the better my life gets. And again, particularly financially, but every area of my life. And as a financial coach, I have spent years helping people make smarter money decisions and achieve their financial goals. And I love that work. And I'm not going anywhere in that regard. I'm going to keep growing my financial coaching business more and more each year to help as many people as I possibly can. But I realize that my passion goes deeper than just money. Right? I have a sincere heart for helping as many people as I possibly can, not just in their finances, but in every aspect of their lives. And because when you have wisdom, your finances, your relationships, and your purpose, they all fall into place. And that's just such a huge basis of this rebrand. And so that's what wealth is wisdom, or wisdom is wealth, is all about. I'm probably going to mess that up, by the way, on a couple of episodes, a couple of intros, maybe even in the show notes. For some reason, I keep saying wealth is wisdom instead of wisdom is wealth, but it is wealth, or wisdom is wealth. So if I mess up along the way, you know what I meant. Show me a little bit of grace. But either one makes sense. Wealth is wisdom, but mainly this podcast rebrand to wisdom is wealth is all about just living a better life by becoming wiser and going out and acting on that wisdom. It's one thing to gain knowledge and understanding. It's another thing to go act on that. And you become wiser when you go act on that. And so it's about taking what I've learned along with the lessons and principles from some of the wealthiest and wisest people I know and sharing them with you. It's about helping you become not just financially successful, but deeply fulfilled and purpose-driven. And so this rebrand is about evolution. Mine, and hopefully yours too. My life is evolving, and so are my brands, right? I evolved from the Holistic Hustle podcast, which made sense a couple of years ago for my personal brand when it came out, but I've evolved, right? And this rebrand makes so much more sense for that evolution. And this podcast is a reflection of that growth, and my prayer is that it will inspire you to grow too. And so moving forward, we're going to dive into topics, concepts, and advice that have truly changed my life, right? We're also going to cover practical strategies, timeless principles, and even some modern perspectives that can help you make wiser decisions and build a wealthier, more meaningful life. And so I'm going to share my story. I've been very fortunate over the years to amass a multiple seven-figure wealth. Made my first $1 million at the age of 28, and I'm 32 now, and I've just learned so much in this process, even life before the first $1 million, and have gained a ton of wisdom, a lot through trial and error, a lot through a bunch of self-inflicted wounds, a lot through my own mistakes, but also a lot through the successes and the good decisions that I made. And I'm going to bring on people that are extremely wealthy financially and personally. Like, they're amazing human beings, and they also just so happen to have an amazing financial wealth and have done really well for themselves and their family. And to be able to share practical insights, strategies, theories, concepts, faith, everything that God is calling me to do in this next chapter of my life is what I'm going to deliver through this rebrand when it comes to Wisdom is Wealth. And so I just want to thank y'all for being here, for trusting me, and for allowing me to grow alongside of you. I really truthfully just can't wait to see where this next chapter takes us. I'm beyond grateful for my audience, beyond grateful for the traction that we have gotten, and I'm just praying that this rebrand not only allows you to stick with us, but to grow with us and to get way more value than you were even getting before with the old name and the old angle from the Holistic Hustle podcast. And so, welcome to Wisdom is Wealth. I just got the chills saying that. They're everywhere. Let's get wiser and wealthier together. I'm honored to have y'all. I love y'all very, very much. And I hope that this episode served to hear my heart, to hear the angle that we're coming at, to hear the purpose behind this rebrand, and to ultimately see the value in that. And for everybody involved, including yourself and anybody that you decide to share this podcast with. So thank you for your grace during this transition. Thank you for the grace for allowing me to look down at my notes from time to time just to make sure that I get this very important message across, because this is near and dear to my heart, and I can't wait to grow with you and see how Wisdom is Wealth impacts you, everybody around you, and the wealth that you desire to grow. We'll see you on the next episode.